Hello everyone, welcome back to FFG Live. This is part of our GenCon online coverage, and we're here today to talk some KeyForge. My name is Evan Johnson, and I'm joined here today by all of you fine people. Who are you fine people?
I'm Aaron Haltom. I'm one of the developers on KeyForge.
I am Tess Keen. I am one of the OP coordinators.
And I am Josh Massey, OP manager.
So today, what we're going to be doing, we're going to have a game for you guys to watch. We're going to be talking a lot of Dark Tidings. We're going to be showing off some new cards. I do want to quickly set up what these decks are that we're going to be playing, because this is something quite a bit different than we've seen before. Aaron, do you want to kind of tee up, like, what are these decks?
Yeah, these are impossible decks.
Impossible decks? What does that mean?
They are decks that haven't been previously possible in the game. So because Mars has been out for Worlds Collide and Mass Mutation, Mars obviously hasn't gotten to pair with Saurian or Star Alliance ever.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of people that are excited to get the space synergy going, especially Star Alliance Mars combo cross-pollinated deck. So we wanted to make a way for that to be possible, because KeyForge is all about the philosophy anything is possible. So
yeah.
We made sure we cooked up some decks that have Mars, Star Alliance, Saurian all mixed together with other houses.
Yep.
Primarily that composition. And we handpicked the cards to make sure that you got the really good synergies that you were looking for between the Logos archiving with Mars, with Star Alliance helping out Mars. So
for sure.
I thought I just got really lucky.
No, they're sweet decks. These will be very challenge level, Vault Tour level. Don't expect to beat these with just any old deck, probably.
and we should set up so then these are not part of the Dark Tidings set. These are a special print and play deck. Yep. There's 10 of these decks. They're going to be going live on our website right after this. So you'll be able to download these for yourself and print them out and play your own games with them. And as Aaron was just alluding to, kind of challenge your friends, right, to beat this impossible deck.
Yeah, these aren't tournament legal. These
Correct.
are just for funsies, because they're probably broken. We will see.
I didn't tell my spouse that when I played against him. So.
Yeah, you should warn people before you bust these decks out on. Now you know.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you know.
Now you know.
Nope. I won that game fair and square.
Another one of the combinations that I didn't mention is also Brobnar and Sanctum kind of flip-flopped each other between Worlds Collide and Mass Mutation. So there's also decks with Brobnar, Sanctum combined, plus Saurian, plus Star Alliance. So
Got it.
That's the other combination that has never been possible and is pretty good, because it's very fighty when you get them all together.
That's awesome.
Many punches.
Yes.
All right. Well, what decks are you guys playing? So these are 2 of the 10 impossible decks that we're showing off today. What have you guys got?
I am going to go with a Mars Star Alliance Logos deck. This is Hodok the Bookish.
Ooh.
on the playmat, please.
And I have Franz H. Greenform Sr., and we were discussing what kind of senior he was before we went live. Evan seems to think he's a senior in high school. I thought he was just an old guy, and then Aaron
I think he's the
cleared it
father
all up.
of another Archon.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is another Franz H. Greenform out there somewhere. Right?
Presumably.
Right. And this one is Mars, Saurian, and Star Alliance. So I made sure to get Mars with the 2 houses it could never be with.
Awesome.
And I have not played it, unlike Tess having played hers. So I will be discovering this as I go.
I see how it is.
All right, so they're gonna start drawing cards and start playing, and we'll be talking about the game. We'll be talking about Dark Tidings. As you guys have any questions about Dark Tidings or about anything else going on, feel free to throw those in the chat. We'll be covering that, and I'll be shouting those questions out for Aaron as we go along. As they're kind of getting started, should we hit them with a Dark Tidings spoiler card right off the bat?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
What house are you thinking?
Warm them up. Yeah, we can just go Untamed here.
Untamed? All right, so let's
Yeah.
throw up the Amberfin Shark. All right, so this is an untamed creature. It's got the Beast trait and 3 power. Play. Give Amberfin Shark 3+1 power counters. At the end of your turn, remove a +1 power counter from Amberfin Shark. If you do, each player gains an amber.
Ooh.
That's an interesting use of the +1 power counters that we haven't really seen before.
Yeah, so he starts out 6 power, which is pretty beefy, but then he gives everybody amber every turn, which is a very untamed sort of thing to do. Like the group hug, everybody wins, everybody gets amber, but I'm getting more. So
Right.
yeah, and this was a very fun art brief to write. I wrote this one, this weird centipede shark.
Yeah, I love him going.
Yeah, I hope that's nightmare fuel for people. I know it is for me.
All right, I saw some exciting things happening over here on Josh's side.
Some really bad things. Like 2 new frontiers and got to archive 1 of the 6 cards that I
Good.
drew. Hot garbage.
Oh, so something else about the impossible decks is they're also impossible because we intentionally drew the 3 different houses from 3 different sets. So it's like you can get like set. Not only are you getting Mars with Saurian and Star Alliance, but it's Mass Mutation, Star Alliance, and Worlds Collide Saurian, which most people like better.
Right.
And like Age of Ascension Mars, which most people like better.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The steal, it happened.
I need to grab her.
I see a Dark Tidings question here for you, Aaron. So,
Sure.
Zach, Call of Discovery, is asking, how does the Tide card enter play? Do players have access to the Omni when the card starts out of play, or must they raise the Tide via a card ability?
Good question. Yes. So it starts. We generally suggest putting it like in the middle of the table,
Yeah, like horizontally.
in a horizontal neutral position, because it is accessible to either player to use the Omni on their turn. Right away from the first turn, you can Omni take the Tide if you want to do that on your first turn. Yeah, when you do it, when you take the Tide, you just shift it so that the high tide is facing you, and the low tide is facing your opponent, and then it'll usually remain in play the rest of the game. There is like an action that can set it back to neutral.
Sure.
But it's usually either high or low all the time, just flip flopping. And yeah, either a card effect or take the Omni action, puts it into play, makes it high for you. Yep.
Well, there's a lot of Star Alliance goodness coming out from Tess here.
Ooh.
Yes. I don't like what I'm. No, that's not good. All right, perfect. Yeah.
Man, it's been too long since I've seen Mars cards on the table.
And I totally just realized that I can't do all of what I just did because I put the Quixel Stone down.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Right off the bat, I messed something up. So.
I mean, Quixelstone versus
know what
Zero versus an empty board is not good.
That's all right. And I'm just gonna go ahead and leap with him.
It is great.
There's
to see
another
Mars.
question I saw up here. Yes, this is from Gadam Gray. Will Dark Tidings have enhanced cards, gigantic creatures, or anomalies?
Ooh, good question.
Answer as much or as little as you like.
So, yes, there are enhanced cards. That's the thing that's continuing. We really enjoyed it in playtesting. We didn't know the broader player reaction yet, but we anticipated it would be good, and it has been. So, luckily we kind of saw that coming, and we're like, yeah, we should definitely keep doing this. This adds so much more variety to your decks. It's great, So, and just in general, I think enhance might not be evergreen. It might not be around for forever, but in every set, we're trying to do something at least to add that kind of randomization element where cards can be changed by the algorithm. So that was what was huge about it. And so we might shift it and do it, differently, do new versions of that kind of thing. But I think something like that, we probably want to keep pushing every set. Yeah.
For sure.
And gigantic, I think there's no new gigantic,
No
but they're are the reprints, I think, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I do have to say, not talking while playing KeyForge.
It's
really weird.
it's really weird.
I know you guys have more important things to say, but it is.
Well, we appreciate you you fighting through the difficulty.
Yeah. Many will tell you that I talk way too much. So this is probably refreshing.
Man, those Tricerian guys are so good. I remember, like, my very first time I ever played with Worlds Collide decks, you know, and I was, like, getting acquainted with the set, right, before it ever come out. I'm playing against this guy, and I think he had 3 or 4 Tricerian Legionaries in his deck, and I'm playing against him, and I'm like, dude,
Yep.
what is wrong?
I have 3 in my named deck, my employee deck.
Nice.
It is
Yes.
so good.
Nice.
Sweet.
We still need to play those employee decks against
Yes,
each other
yes, we
sometime,
haven't
because
played
we
those
both
yet.
have very good ones.
Yes, we do.
I registered mine, and then I was disappointed by how low the stats is.
Oh, yeah. I don't typically look at the SAS, but I
Yeah,
did, and mine is
I-
quite good.
Nice.
I'm at check, by the way.
Oh, you're right. What's reducing it by?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Never
Okay.
mind.
Oh,
I can count.
I can't.
A question
I was
from...
just too busy being angry that I missed the cutoff of those special decks by like.
Aw.
Oh, no.
Close.
So
Yeah.
close.
I was in a different department.
All right, so that was the turn. Okay.
Question from Fake Ashak19. I'm concerned that Dark Tidings and the Tide card specifically, I think, will increase game length. Any thoughts from playtesting?
Oh, because the chains would make people draw fewer cards, I guess. No, it hasn't been increasing game length too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think maybe slightly. Yeah.
Sure.
The boards can get a little bigger. You know, things can be a little slower, but we also, tested it and made sure we could speed things up where possible. We kept going back continually and pushing the power of the Tide cards because we wanted to keep a fairly small subset of the set to be Tide cards because they're not going to be very reprintable for future sets.
Yeah.
So we wanted to keep the number down fairly low, but we also wanted the Tide to still feel reasonably impactful. So we had to keep pushing them, making them stronger. And you'll see some of the untamed ones especially can earn you a ton of amber or get super powerful
Yeah.
when you have the Tide. So I don't think it's actually that much slower because once you get a powerful engine going, it ends pretty quickly.
That's awesome. Let's hit people with another card.
Sure.
Should we just go down the list here?
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit them with the Sanctum card 5CO77.
It's at Starline.
That's right, Star Alliance. He's got a Sanctum dude in his art, which is why I was confused.
It's totally not a human name. It's 5C.
Yeah, correct. 5CO77. I can read.
Yeah.
Creature and robot. So 2 power, reap, ready, and use another friendly creature with the same power as Scott. You may give Scott a +1 power counter or remove a +1 power counter from Scott.
Ooh. Yeah. So the idea behind this clearly is he can keep helping somebody else different every time, and he can keep modulating his power along the way to match more where your board's at.
Right. Yeah, that seems like a very synergistic and versatile card, right? Something that has a lot of potential uses.
Yeah. So something Untamed is really big on this set is all the +1 power counter. So this is also synergy with that. I mean, Star Alliance is all about out-of-house synergy.
Right.
So this is good for that as well as for just enabling any house. You can ready and use it.
Yeah, of course.
Trying to, with my body
And
motions,
acting.
I'm trying to
Gesticulation.
convey what's going on.
They're wondering if you can use the remove
Top
ability
board.
if he has no counters. I'm assuming not, but
Or remove a +1 power counter from set. I mean, it's a may anyway, so you don't have to choose one or the other. So if you don't have any +1 power counters,
Yeah.
why would you choose it? Yeah.
Perfect. Will Dark Tidings have any evil twins of creatures that were first released in other sets?
Oh, that's a good question.
Ooh. No. we did them all new creatures just because we wanted to take this specific design route with them where we wanted to have the really clear symmetry between the two versions.
Yeah.
And have them be things that are really, the ability is really fun to kind of invert in some way. Or
Yeah. The evil twin decks are super exciting to me. I'm hoping that I can find one or two of those out in the wild. Like, how, speaking in generalities, how rare are they? Are they like hyper rare? Are they like kind of rare? Like
they're only like kind of rare.
Kind of rare.
They're not insanely.
It's not like you're gonna have to buy tons of decks to get these evil twins.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They're not. Like anomaly at the deck level. They're not that. They're not
Sure.
that bad. No.
Okay. Excellent.
I mean, the standard's still good. The regular decks, obviously, but evil twins aren't.
Yes. Are the evil twin variants counted in the 250 new cards mentioned in the announcement, or are they not counted? So basically, when we say that like there's a over 250 new cards coming in this set, does that count the evil twin?
Yeah, it does. It does. It's a new card, even though it's the same title. It's got
Right.
the.
It's quite different.
It's got the evil twin flag. It's got a different design. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't checked in on the game in a while. There's some.
Yeah, a lot of bad timing. That's all I have to say.
You are getting out of control, though.
A little bit. She needs. Do you have Star Alliance over there? I can't remember.
Yes, I do. It's Mars, Star Alliance, and logos.
All right, fine. I'll do that.
Okay, then.
Okay, so let's see. I reaped.
You
so
will
top
need more
three
board
cards.
space here pretty soon, it seems like.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. All right, and let's see. Let me just make sure. Archive one, add one to hand, discard one. Great.
Yeah, that Worlds Collide Saurian can really get out of hand here.
Yeah, I can.
There's a lot going on over there. I also don't have my glasses on because they were fogging up so badly.
Yeah, that's something that we've had a lot
So-
on the stream is people with glasses. Seems to be going okay for you, Aaron.
Well, my wife made this mask for me.
Okay, so it fits very nicely.
We've gone to a couple events, and she's taught me the tricks of how to keep my glasses on top of my mask.
I see.
A little piece of surgical tape too works, but I didn't think of that before leaving the house.
I should try that, yeah. Because
And I
I'm
didn't
still
bring
getting a
surgical
little foggy.
tape. I wasn't planning on performing surgery today.
Well,
Guess it's never really planned though for me.
But on the bright side, my eyeballs are absorbing any possible pathogens. Keeping you guys safe.
I appreciate you.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the mascara on my face is gonna take that first, just a guess.
Mine too.
Yeah.
All right,
and,
a question for you, Aaron. Will previous sets still be competitive with Dark Tidings decks since they don't benefit from the high tide effect?
Oh yeah, good question. We tested Dark Tidings against previous sets even more than we do most sets for that very reason.
Sure.
That's definitely like the prime balance concern with when you're introducing something like the Tide, right? And yeah, we still think that previous sets will be balanced against it. In general, kind of the way that it breaks down is the set 5 deck is better with the Tide. Like obviously, it has the advantage in that particular arena.
Right.
But it's also a little more balanced and weaker overall than like a Call of the Archons deck. So the advantage that the Tide confers is pretty well balanced out usually versus
I see.
other set decks.
That's
That was the goal, but I think I hope we did well with it. I know our playtesters put a lot of time and energy into helping us with it, and we iterated a lot on the tide to make sure we didn't make it too punishing to be able to take the action to take the tide away from your opponent.
Right.
We had a lot of initial versions that were even harsher, penalties to take the tide, and so we wanted to make sure it was something that you could do anytime, and that's what the chains are. And also we found that there's enough card drawing and archiving happening that sometimes the taking the chains isn't a drawback at all, really. So by the time you get into late game, especially, you're just struggling for it. You're just constantly taking it. It's a lot more of a tug of war.
In Evil Twin decks, will there be cards that don't have Evil Twin equivalents that just stay the
but I
same?
didn't.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So only the cards that do have Evil Twin equivalents will switch. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is kind of the what's the experience of playing a deck against its Evil Twin? From playing other card games, when you run into a mirror match in constructed games, right? If you run into a mirror match or a close mirror match, it's usually very scrappy, and okay, I saw this card, you didn't, I got that little bit of an edge. What's kind of the quote unquote mirror match here with Evil Twins look like?
There's still that feeling of symmetry overall, I would think.
Yeah.
But it's a little different because the Evil Twins have different abilities, so they usually will have the same power and toughness, power and armor, but they always have different abilities, and so a lot of the times it's a little asymmetric. It's usually very close still, though, the power level. We tried to keep the Evil Twin, the good version, equally balanced. The Evil Twin cards are more about doing something that is more high risk, high reward, or doing something that maybe isn't very in-house, something that feels a little out of character for what their house can normally do.
Yeah.
So it makes the Evil Twin decks are probably the higher skill ceiling decks usually. So it's if you have the Evil Twin deck and you're more skilled than your opponent, you might you'll probably win. But
Sure.
you have the advantage, I think. But
the onus is on you to be of that higher skill.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's show another card. Should we hit him with this ship here?
Sure.
All right. You want to read that guy off?
Sure.
This is Archon's Revenge.
Yeah. Archon's Revenge. It's a ship and has action: exhaust up to 2 friendly shadows creatures. For each creature exhausted this way, steal 1 ember.
Nice.
So this is kind of the way that all the ships work. This is a theme that we wanted to have. There's a cycle in the set where every house has a different ship, and they're all different sized, so they all exhaust a different number of creatures of that house, and they all do something different with the creatures that exhaust. So it's kind of you've got this little 2-person boat. get 2 shadows guys in there and go do stuff with it.
Yeah.
But then you get up to other houses. They have big warships. They can get 5 people in there and then go do something.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I love the art on that where it looks like it's I don't know, coming out of stealth mode or something.
Yeah.
It was a ghost ship and it's coming into the real world. That's sweet.
Our artists have had a ton of fun, I think, bringing those old school, piratey kind of vibes, nautical vibes into this more futuristic science fantasy kind of setting.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
All right, a hypothetical question here. If your deck is so strong that it has 24 chains, can you still take the high tide? Can you go over 24 chains?
You can't go over 24 chains.
Okay.
But you can always take the Omni action even though the chains will be discarded.
Oh, interesting.
Meaningless
So
at that point.
so you would be able to take it for free in that case.
Yeah, it's not Omni gain 3 chains if you do.
Right. It's
Omni
gain 3 chains, period.
Yeah.
Take that. Yeah.
If you're already at 24 chains, then I think that's enough penalty for you. I think that's, yeah.
Yeah. Here's some good questions. How does Dark Tidings affect the lore of the Crucible?
Ooh, interesting. So a lot of it is about the Unfathomable faction that's been discovered deep in the bodies of water in the Crucible. And they have a lot of amber down there, these Unfathomable folks, because they're the race that lives underwater is the Aquans, or the primary race, and they've got a whole society. Unfathomable, in particular, is a cult-like sect within the Aquans.
Oh, sure.
And they are all about collecting amber and feeding it to their gods that they believe in. So they're like throwing amber down this hole where supposedly this god named Kilogog lives. And so they've gotten a little more aggressive lately with coming to the surface and raiding other houses' amber. And other houses have to react to that, and or they've discovered how much amber there is down there in the ocean now that they can try and reclaim. And another thematic thing that the Unfathomable offers is the evil twins. So the evil twins are a mysterious thing that's happening on the Crucible that nobody's quite figured out yet.
Sure.
But they probably come from somewhere under, deep in the ocean.
Right. That's awesome.
That's about all the hint you get about.
Well, we missed the end. I wanted to celebrate Tess beating Josh. Tess crushing Josh.
It was pretty horrific.
I enjoyed it.
No, yeah, it was a terrible beating.
Do you guys want to play another match? You could grab out some other decks. I think Josh, you made all of them. Right?
I did prep all of them, so let's do that. I wasn't going to interrupt you guys talking.
No.
So
yeah. Let's go for it. Let's because we still have more spoiler cards to share.
Right.
And I was curious of how that.
Let's see another match.
All right, so very important question
Uh-oh.
to Tess. Orange, black, or green?
Green. I'm always going to choose green.
Green's my favorite color.
Mine
Jeez.
too. It's the hair. You gotta go with green.
I see a question about they want a percentage rarity on evil twins, 1 in 12 or 1 in 100. I think we can say it's closer to 1 in 12.
Closer to 1 in 12, yes.
Closer to 1 in 12. We will not give you an exact percentage.
Yep.
Because we don't want the kind of calls that are like, I bought this many decks and did not get.
After fogging up my glasses a bit here.
I did the statistical analysis, and I know that the confidence interval says that you're probably.
There was another really good question I saw up here. Oh, will the Unfathomable have a leader in this set?
Oh, no.
Kilogog is not rising from the depths just yet.
The leader, cycle was pretty much just for that one set. It's not really something we've looked to revisit just because most sets aren't focused on like the center of the battle line being a thing that you care about. That's kind of endemic to that set, but it is something that we should consider revisiting in the future, like more leaders, more gigantic creatures.
Yeah. They did mention that that they have the Chosen One, who is an awesome creature, who could be regarded as their leader, perhaps.
Yeah.
A very important question I see from Lucky Star Kongi. Will the Aquan, in terms of redress, get his revenge against that Sanctum Knight?
You'll have to find out.
Oh snap.
Very nearly a.
So you guys both switched decks, right? What do we have hitting the table now?
Well, if I can figure out how to shuffle cards without dropping them all.
Yeah, I know. I was watching you do that, and
It's too early in the morning for me to shuffle, I guess. I don't know.
It is. very early in the morning.
All right, so
I'm 2
I
cups of coffee in, so I'm good.
haven't had coffee in over 12 years. So that's why I'm failing.
Haven't had coffee in over 12 minutes.
All right, so I have Hershey, the Oak of Amalchasm.
Ooh. That one's just all about Amber.
And I didn't pick this. Tess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tess
Offered
picked
it
it. We
to
saw
me.
it.
Yeah,
We saw
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And Tess.
And I have Bavroy, the Stalker of Plasma.
Mm.
So, go donate
and
blood.
plasma stalkers.
Stalk that plasma.
Yeah.
Do you have any notes on the Stalker of Plasma? Or do you know their?
It's Mars, Saurian, Brobnar.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's all about capturing onto your creatures as well as capturing onto their creatures.
Okay.
Then you kind of ward your creatures, then you board wipe, but yours survive.
Oh.
Kind of a
We'll
one-sided
see about that.
Amber games. Yep.
A question that they're curious about: are there evil twin Mavericks?
Ooh, I think there can be. Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
I think they're feasible. They're gonna be super rare. Mm-hmm.
A question actually for Josh about they are curious if there are ways currently or planned or being discussed for spending shards online, since they can no longer or cannot currently do so, obviously. at
That is a
events.
wonderful question.
Yes.
Thank you for asking it. We are looking into ways that is possible. As I'm sure many people are aware, there's a lot that goes into that. But we are trying to find more ways to use Amber than we have had previously, and that's where I have to leave you. Sorry.
Another OP related question that I saw up a little bit is if the Vault Warrior series is still being planned for some point.
I can't really get into details because right now we're still trying to figure out what our future plans are, because with COVID everything is just so up in the air.
Right.
We
yeah.
don't know what's going to happen and when, and I mean if this clears up tomorrow, great, we'll start really getting into things, but it's not going to
I'll
happen.
see that happening.
So yeah, we're figuring out our plans right now, just so everybody is aware. Within the next 2 weeks we will have an announcement for all of you what our OP plans are, at least for the remainder of this year and the beginning of next. So you can stay tuned for that. Just continue to watch the website, and I'm sure Tess will be making
Oh, yeah.
a social post about it
I'll
as well.
talk about it all the time.
So, so yeah, I can give you more details then, but sadly until then, I can't give you much.
If you're really itching to play, though, you can play against me on Twitter right now.
You can.
There
OP plays.
OP play, yes. Alright.
So for Aaron, PJ Brofton asks, what is the name of the card type that has low and high tide on it? Will we see cards like that again in future sets?
So that's just the tide. We didn't give it a special type for the 38th card, but we have added the 38th card as a standard thing now going forward, I think.
Oh, interesting.
So that will give us some leeway to play with other things in that slot. So there's 2 sides to it. So there's actually 2 different slots for us to kind of play with, and we will keep exploring it in the future. I can't tell you what any of those things will be, but yeah, we're excited to keep doing weird, different things with the 38th card every set.
So much Mars coming out here. Wow.
I like little green creatures.
Yeah. Will all tide cards look exactly the same?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yep.
It's the same card printed in every deck.
4 damage to either one of them, doesn't matter.
Not sure if
Up to
you
people. They have armor. It'll only do 3 damage.
know the answer to this, Aaron, but so there's new packaging for the Dark Tidings Archon decks. You know, kind of like what it's made of, like what the material is.
I think it's more of a papery type.
Is it kind of like a foil sort of thing, or like a paper wrap?
I thought it was more of a paper wrap.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think I was here when
Sure,
they
sure.
did the production samples, but
TBD.
I think that was the plan was paper.
We'll
Yeah.
find out for you. Tess, they want to make sure that you know that the mother gun is an artifact and that you'll be able to use
Oh,
it in
yeah,
the
that's
future.
still, yeah.
Okay.
It's like, it's one of those, how do I frame it?
Yeah. Of course.
Alright.
Will the Tide card have the unique card back of the Archon deck, or can you use Tide cards from different decks?
Oh, interesting. Yeah. It will have the name of the deck on the bottom of it. So it is intended to be to go with that deck.
Yeah.
And I guess I can't tell you what's on the back of it yet, but that also will be relevant to your deck and will have a deck name on the bottom of it. So
Secrets.
no, you probably shouldn't mix and match them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's show off another card. Let's.
Yeah.
So we've got the Saurian card here. This is Berry Riches. So this is an action. It's got the little tide symbol, and that just indicates that the tide card plays a role in this ability, right?
Yeah, the symbol itself has
The
no
little
game
wave.
function there. It's just a visual reminder, which we found in playtesting. You know, when you have a big board out and half of your cards care about the tide and half of them don't. It was easy to forget, which ones were going to trigger if you raise the tide, and so that's just a easy visual indicator for you and your opponent to be able to pick out like what's going to change on the board if I take the tide. Yeah.
Right. So of course people have read it by now, but if anyone's just listening, I guess it says play if the tide is high, move 1 amber from each creature to its controller's pool. Otherwise, raise the tide. So that's kind of an interesting thing where like obviously it plays into like if you've been exalting your guys, you can like whoop, grab that back. But I like the kicker that it lets you raise the tide otherwise for free, right? So you don't have to suffer the 3 chains. Is that kind of common through this? Are there a number of ways to raise the tide like that?
Yeah, that's a theme for a lot of these cards. In general, we wanted to make sure that the tide cards weren't doing nothing if you didn't have the tide in the favorable position. They weren't totally worthless if the tide was not in the favorable position.
Sure.
So we made a lot of those kind of dual function cards that can either help you get the tide or they can take advantage of the tide being in favor already.
Right. And then just to confirm, if you raise a tide due to a card effect, you do not get the chains, right?
Right.
The chains are tied to the tide card's Omni ability.
Yeah.
Yes. Will the tide only be available in the starter set?
No.
It's in
It's
every
in
single
every Archon deck.
Yeah.
Yep.
For anyone just joining us, like JM Litwiller, who says, "I thought Mars was not in the new set?" Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
What?
I
It's
haven't
not?
seen any Mars. What are you talking about?
So if anyone's just joining us, we're playing with Impossible decks, which are a brand new type of fixed deck. They're going to be available for free for print and play that Aaron and the team cooked up.
Yep.
Basically, there are 10 of them, and explain. They
Game's not going
have
anywhere.
combinations of houses that have not previously been possible.
Yeah, and also so you can have like Mars with Star Alliance with Saurian, which you could never have before. You can also have Brobnar and Sanctum together with Saurian, which you couldn't have before. All the combinations, so that now anything is possible. Now you can't have those combinations. They're also impossible because they use multiple sets. So you can have a Worlds Collide, Mass Mutations, and Call of the Archons all in the same deck,
Yeah,
basically.
that's awesome.
So it pulls the best. Generally, I tried to make the decks really sweet. I made them kind of like a regular deck would be with not an obscene amount of rares. I tried to keep the balance like a regular deck, but I also cherry picked to make sure you get the really strong themes you're looking for from those houses to come together and have the maximum synergy.
Right. That's awesome. So here's an interesting question. So we were talking about Tide card and how it is kind of tied to a deck, right? Now that Dark Tidings is out, if someone has a previous deck that had the Valacanth anomaly, they're playing against an opponent who's playing like a Call of the Archons deck, for instance. Do you get a Tide card for that game? Like, can you have the Tide for Valacanth's ability?
That is interesting, right? I think the rules will just say that if you have a card that references the Tide, then you can put it in play. So I think that will be a thing, right? I think it's the same. We've been thinking about the same thing in terms of Legacy.
Okay.
If Tide cards keep getting brought back into the future sets, how's that going to be implemented? And rules wise, you can proxy something for the Tide token. The Tide token should always exist. So that's interesting.
That's super cool. So you guys can see the link in the chat. So that is for the previous Mass Mutation print and play decks that we had made available. These Impossible decks are being played right now. Those are going to go live right after the stream. So we'll be putting those up on our website and posting on Twitter and stuff about it. So you guys can download these decks for yourself right after that. So they're asking, so the Tide is always in play regardless of set/matchup. Is that correct?
Only if one of your decks references the Tide somewhere.
Got it.
You can't gain chains for some weird abstract reason in a deck that has nothing to do with that. But I don't know why you would want chains, but if maybe there was like a card that gave your opponent all your chains or something like that. No, you can't indefinitely use the Tide to just stack up on chains.
Perfect.
I like the mime act that's happening here.
Yeah, right.
You're getting
half a face.
Do some shreds to.
I know a little ALS, but not much, and it's mostly server ALS. So.
Let's see.
I can ask about food.
Oh, they want to see more Unfathomable. Let's show off the Unfathomable spoiler card that we have here.
Sure, yeah.
One moment. I'm gonna wait for a second. All right, this is Kaupi, something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna say Kaupi. So this is an Unfathomable creature, 2 power. He's got the Aquan trait. Your opponent cannot.
Have him.
Kaupi. It's like a fish man. He's like singing.
Fish man's like singing. All right. Is he singing under the water, or is it a whale song thing?
He is above the water.
Okay.
I always thought of it as more female, but Aquans also don't care about gender really.
That's true. To me, I call him a he because to me it looks like he has a big beard. Like those tentacles coming off his chin look like a beard to me.
Okay. Yeah, I can kind of see it.
But yes, I concur that there are no gender signifiers. In any case, yeah, you got it. All right. So, as you can now see on your screen, Kaupe, your opponent cannot play more than 1 card of each card type, action, artifact, creature, or upgrade each turn. Ooh. That's pretty good.
Yeah, especially for creatures, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, saying that you can only play 1 creature and that's it.
One creature.
So that kind of plays into a lot of the Unfathomables themes.
Yeah,
right?
Being kind of the control house. But we wanted them to do it in a different way than Dees and feel a little different with it. And so this is kind of one of the things, in addition to exhausting your guys, keeping your guys exhausted, returning your guys to your hand or the top of your deck, just all those kind of tempo things. This is another tempo thing. It can keep you from being able to play a lot of cards in a turn, as opposed to Dees, which was more about like forcing you to choose a particular house and like forcing you into making a bad decision. Unfathomable is more about just like reducing all your possibilities. You know?
Right, right.
Into a crushing singularity.
That's excellent. Do any of the impossible decks feature Unfathomable?
No.
Yeah.
These were just trying to get the previous house combinations that from the first 4 sets that hadn't happened yet.
Yeah,
make those
exactly.
possible.
Yep, that these draw on those first 4 sets, but they are not. So then another question, are there any other anomalies that are part of this set as a card? They assume that Valucanth is in this set, but are there any other anomalies that appear in this set?
I think Valucanth's the only one. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not tapping into the crazy graft stuff yet, or
Yeah. I love this. That was so cool.
or the ghost form.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ghost form.
So I actually have a question for you right now.
Yeah.
She played Bumpsy
Uh-huh.
while I had Shrix in play.
Oh.
Can I take an amber off of Shrix instead of from my pool? Because I can spend it as if
Interesting.
it is in my pool.
Yeah.
I can do that?
I think so.
Okay, cool. Then let's say I did that instead.
You did that. You absolutely did that. This is kind of the reverse of the last game. This is just kind of a slaughter over here.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
So, Gruen,
Yeah.
can I play this last turn out loud? Because this
Oh yeah.
this was a fun last turn, and I wish I could have played that one out loud.
Let's hear it.
So Gruen is going to fight there, and they're
Senator.
both going to
Yeah.
go away.
That's
And
a nice
then-
way of putting it.
I'm going to play Regrowth. Gain an amber.
Oh.
Okay. And then Gruen's going to come in. You can have an amber.
Oh, thank you.
I'll have a
How
couple more
generous.
That's very
amber.
magnanimous of you.
And then I'm going to key charge
Oh.
with
Uh,
all of that amber.
Yikes.
well, all right then.
So we're 1-1. And
How many turns was that?
Wow. That deck seems awesome. Which deck is that?
this deck is pretty bonkers.
I think it's the best one.
I think I used Shrix and Legatus Raptor each 3 times in my last turn because I had 1 Golden Spiral. I played Hisaro in between them. This Legatus Raptor ended up letting me use Shrix like a 4th time. It was, yeah, it was insane.
That's awesome.
Sorry to interrupt.
Not for me. But
All right, let's throw another card up for people to take a look at. I think we'll just do the last 2 here since we finished up the game. So we'll close out the stream pretty quickly here. We'll show off the cards. We'll answer a couple more questions,
Okay.
and that will be our time for today. So let's throw up Dry the River. So this is a Sanctum artifact. You want to read that?
Sure. It's a power and has the tide icon, and each creature gains while the tide is low. This creature cannot reap. So that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
That really encourages your opponent to wrestle you for the tide. We like I said, we in playtesting started with weaker versions of a lot of these cards and had to keep bumping them up until they got to the place where each one of them was impactful. Each one of them pushed this kind of back and forth struggle for the tide as much as we could.
For sure. And then the Logos card here is Forgive and Forget. Forgive or Forget. So this is a
Can't do
Logos
both.
action. Play, choose 1. Archive 2 cards of different types from your discard pile, or purge up to 2 cards from each discard pile.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's so logosy.
Uh-huh.
So logosy. And I love the art too. This was a great call from the art team. I think I wrote a brief that was much more abstract than this, and they were like, no, it should just be a button. Are you pushing the forgive button, or are you pushing the forget button? Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Let's do that.
And having these cards that offer a choice is kind of a theme of Dark Tidings, right?
Yeah. So we wanted a lot of the common actions to just be, you can do this or this. They're a little more flexible. They're still those lower impact effects usually, and also they don't have an amber, but they just give you so much more tactical flexibility than previous common actions. So hopefully there's always a little something you can do. You know, they're not being just like tossed out for the amber as much. They're, you know, actually doing something for you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we played 2 games today.
Two games.
So you guys actually played the Impossible Decks, whereas we were just watching.
Yeah.
What was it like?
Well,
What was it?
after the first game, where I apologize for anybody who caught my mistake, I did not stun my.
I'm sure I made a
my
few
dominator.
myself. So.
But they were really fun. Like, sadly, game 1 for me, timing was really bad for when I got my not key hammer from Mars. Why?
Key abduction.
Key abduction. Yeah. Sadly, timing was really bad on that one for me, but they were fun because I've never seen it before, obviously. So it made it feel just different. It was really exciting.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the way that I was able to twice just purge half my hand and just get all of that lovely amber. And I think I went through the deck 3 times. So that was just, and I'll just take a pile now. It felt good.
Yeah, that's so cool. A last question. So many moons ago, multiplayer rules were mentioned on stream as something that was being worked on. Is that something that's still kind of in the pipeline for KeyForge?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
no, nothing to announce, but it's
Right, of course.
it's definitely something we want to be a thing.
well,
Yep.
I'm sure people are glad to know that it has not been forgotten. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching and hanging out and talking a little bit about Dark Tidings and watching these awesome games with these impossible decks. So as I mentioned beforehand, these impossible decks are going to be going up online right after this. I'm going to go put them on the website. And I'm going to tweet about it, and OP might say something about it if they want to.
I think there's a distinct possibility that they might pop up on OP Plays.
Ooh. Can you beat OP plays?
They usually do.
So look for that. And we have many more streams coming as part of GenCon Online. We've got I think Star Wars Armada is this afternoon. They're going to be talking.
Legion.
Is it Legion? Thank you. Yep. Star Wars Legion this afternoon. Talking about that. Tomorrow morning we're going to be doing a demo of X-Men Mutant Insurrection. So actually playing the game on the table. So if anyone's curious about that brand new announcement and how it works, we'll be showing that off. Thank you everyone so much for watching. And keep coming back for the rest of GenCon Online, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.